Welcome. This is Lou Gehrig right here. All right. Now, you may have heard of Lou Gehrig. I know you heard of Lou Gehrig's disease, which is known now. Uh, Lou Gehrig's disease, obviously he died, and now it's called Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. ALS is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects the motor neurons in the brain and spinal cord. But this was a great baseball player as well, right? So they say his legacy is twofold. First, as one of baseball's greatest players, known for his incredible consecutive game streak and batting prowess. And as I mentioned, second, for his courage and grace in the face of ALS, a disease that now bears his name. His legacy includes his famous luckiest man farewell speech, the first retired jersey number in Major League Baseball, and the ongoing efforts to raise awareness for ALS on Lou Gehrig's Day. How many games in a row did he play? How many games in a row did Lou Gehrig play? I'm curious. 2,130 games, a record that stood for 56 years before being broken by Cal Ripken Jr. I remember that. Wow, we're going to have to come back and look at that if I remember. So, anyways, you see, it's kind of like a blurry image there of his jersey. His jersey from final Yankees home game appearance sells for $2.7 million. The jersey worn by Lou Gehrig, it was actually $2.71 million to be exact, sold in an auction on Wednesday. The highest amount ever paid in a public auction for a piece of memorabilia belonging to baseball's Iron Horse. Gehrig's pinstriped number 4 jersey was the highlight of the live sale conducted by Christie's and Hunt Auctions. It was part of the collection of the late Dr. G.B. Espy, which brought in more than $8.4 million during the auction. Gehrig, who took himself out of the lineup on May 2nd, 1939, after appearing in a then record 2,130 consecutive games, remained with the Yankees in a ceremonial role and was present at Game 2 of the 1939 World Series. Notice how they're saying 1939, New York equals 39, right? When New York hosted the Reds and Yankee Stadium, he was photographed in the dugout by a battery of photographers who understood that the game was Gehrig's final one at his home ballpark. So that was the second day of the 5th month, 2-5. Now we're in the year 25. That's what I'm gathering here. That's what I'm gathering. And again, diagnosed with ALS earlier in the season. He died in 1941. We'll get back into that. ALS is now commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Okay. The Yankees shut out the Reds 4-0 to take a 2-0 lead in the World Series, which they would eventually win in a 4-game sweep. Right? Okay, so I have not a lot of slides here, okay? Not a lot of slides. Let's watch this, though, for this short video. Maybe. We might watch this video, yeah.
the baseball jersey worn by Hall of Famer Lou Gehrig for his final appearance at Yankee Stadium has sold at an auction for nearly $3 million. It was worn by the legendary first baseman during Game 2 of the 1939 World Series. Gehrig was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, shortly after that. So he only played 8 games that season before he retired, and Gehrig died in 1941.
All right. Now, man, this is amazing looking back at these old characters and still seeing, wow, the world has always been fake, huh? Because look at that. 2.7 million for his final home game appearance jersey, auctioned off. 2.7. Gehrig equals 27 in the language. He died on the second day of the 6th month. 2/6. Yankees equals 26 in the language. And they said Cal Ripken Jr. beat his consecutive game streak, and he passed it on one day before this. One day before his death anniversary, Lou Gehrig. Let's see if I can find that. Here it is right here. Look. Cal Ripken Jr. Oh, Cal Ripken Jr. right here. Oh, okay, my bad. Wrong. Oh, okay, so I take that back. Look at this. Lou Gehrig played in 2,130 consecutive games, a record that stood for 56 years before being broken by Cal Ripken Jr. So this is Lou Gehrig. Look, his streak began June 1st, 25. That's amazing now that we're in the year 25, huh? And that game was on 2-5. That game was on 2-5, his last game. That's amazing right there. The second day of the 5th month. Wow. But anyways, his streak began one day. Let me go back over here. One day before his death anniversary. Well, he would go on to die in 41. So the streak began June 1st. He ended up dying on June 2nd. But that was in 1941. Yeah, he died June 2nd, 1941. His streak began June 1st. So he dies one day after the streak began. What are the odds, right? What are the odds of that? And again, Yankees 26. He dies on the second day of the 6th month. Even disease equals 26 and 62. Even disease equals 26 and 62. His full name, Henry Louis Gehrig, 101. That's the 26th prime number. He dies at age 37. How young? And Yankees equals 37 in reverse reduction. Can you believe it? This is a fact. This is the story. He dies 17 days before his birthday. He played 17 seasons for the Yankees in Major League Baseball. And he died on the 170th day of the year. 170 is like 17. Sacrifice also equals 170. Just saying. And kill equals 17. Just saying. Okay? So, wow. Quick. I mean, that was undeniable, wasn't it? Undeniable stuff right there. So Lou Gehrig, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. The jersey from his final Yankees home game appearance sells for 2.7 million. Now let's run that date. They said the game was it May 2nd right here? Let's see. Gehrig, who took himself out of the lineup May 2nd. So this is the game right here. And it was game 2 of the 1939 World Series. Remember, New York equals 39, like the 39 World Series right there. So May 2nd. So how many days? Well, let's see how many days like before his birthday that game was. Let's go over here. May 2nd, 1939, right here. And his birthday, June 19th. Oops, got to put the right date in there. 1939. Look at that, man. 1 month and 17 days before his birthday was this last home game for Lou Gehrig with the Yankees. Look at that. 1 month and 17 days before his birthday, which is like 17, and he goes on to die 17 days before that birthday. Well, 2 years later. He dies 17 days before his birthday, 17 seasons in the majors, dies on the 170th day of the year, like 17. Final home game, 1 month, 17 days before his birthday. Look at that. OMG. And look at that's the same as 48 days. And they mentioned 48 in the article. Look at this, man. Everything lines up. He's got that 4 on his jersey, too. Oh, they say 8.4 right here. It was part of the collection of the late Dr. G.B. Epsies, which brought in more than 8.4 million. And then that game was 48 days before his birthday. Good stuff, man. Wow, huh? Man, look at this article. Like, most of the page is just the top part. Isn't that, like, come on, like, does that give you anxiety or what? Like, you can't even read the article. That's annoying. Look how annoying that is. Right? So that's amazing, I think. So let's change the date here because he died in 1941. 1941. Oops. And he died on June 2nd. Right here. June 2nd. Oops, got to put the right year in there. Okay, so he ends up dying 31 days after the anniversary of his last game. I see right there. And let me just see if there's any 31s, and then we can bounce. Lou equals 48 as well. Look at that right there. Lou equals 48. Now let's put that other, and then so Lou equals 48, and his final home game was 48 days before his birthday. That's amazing, man. So I don't see any 31s there. Okay, so man, solid stuff right there. Just after 4 a.m. as I do this recording. So if you weren't familiar with Lou Gehrig, I mean, this stuff was scripted even way back then. It just all lands from top to bottom there. Bam.
The baseball jersey worn by Hall of Famer Lou Gehrig for his final appearance at Yankee Stadium has sold at an auction for nearly $3 million. It was worn by the legendary first baseman during Game 2 of the 1939 World Series. Gehrig was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, shortly after that. So he only played 8 games that season before he retired, and Gehrig died in 1941.
All right. What about his Lou Gehrig's final career stats? Let's see. 340 batting average. Look at that. Oh, look, he had 2,700 hits. 493 home runs, 1,995 RBIs. Look at that. He had over 2,700 hits when Gehrig equals 27 and his jersey sells for 2.7 million. Wow, that's the script, man. That's the story. Until next time.